Have you learned anything since
I
then?
did that if I didn't speak up, 2 of my people would be dead, Congresswoman, and I warned you.
Okay, Governor Walz, what is a woman? Have you learned that lesson? Do you know what a woman is?
I'm the governor of Minnesota, Congresswoman.
Do you know what a
I'm not
woman
here
is?
to be your prop for your obsession.
Watch this moment. During a heated hearing, Nancy Mace suddenly asks Minnesota Governor Tim Walz one simple question. What is a woman? His response, I'm not here to be your prop. What happened next turned the entire hearing into a tense political showdown. Before we get into it, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the Capitol Current so you don't miss the biggest political showdowns happening in Washington. Today we're breaking down a fiery hearing where Nancy Mace confronted Minnesota Governor Tim Walz over a massive fraud scandal tied to government funds meant to help vulnerable children. And the exchange quickly escalated into a tense back-and-forth that left the entire room watching closely.
Chair now recognizes Ms. Mace from South Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for being here today. Governor Walz and Attorney General Ellison, you have presided over one of the worst government fraud scandals in American history. This was money intended to feed hungry children, help kids with autism, provide food and shelter and health care to the needy, and more. You both allowed billions in these American taxpayer dollars to be pillaged and plundered by Somali pirates. You knew this was happening, you chose to do nothing about it, and in some cases, you even enabled it. Attorney General Ellison, you even profited from this fraud by taking campaign donations from these Somalians after pledging to help quash the investigation into them. I find your behavior despicable. My questions this morning, my first go to Governor Walz, and I hope you learned some lessons from your last hearing with me on the Oversight Committee. Have you learned anything since then?
I did that if I didn't speak up, 2 of my people would be dead, Congresswoman, and I warned you.
Okay, Governor Walz, what is a woman? Have you learned that lesson? Do you know what a woman is?
I'm the governor of Minnesota, Congresswoman.
Do you know what a
I'm not
woman
here
is?
to be your prop for your obsession.
So
I
if you
taught
can't
middle school
define
your
what
obsession.
a woman is, you certainly can't define what fraud is. If you can't even define what a woman is, you can't define fraud.
The hearing started with Congresswoman Nancy Mace delivering a blistering opening accusation. She claimed that Minnesota had overseen one of the worst government fraud scandals in recent history. According to her, billions of taxpayer dollars meant for programs like feeding hungry children, autism services, health care, and other assistance programs were allegedly stolen by fraudulent networks. Mace didn't hold back. She accused Minnesota leadership of allowing these funds to be abused and demanded accountability from the state's top officials. She also brought up allegations involving Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, claiming individuals connected to the fraud had donated to his political campaign. Ellison has denied wrongdoing, but Mace used the moment to argue that the public deserves transparency. Then the hearing took an unexpected turn. Mace asked Governor Walz a question that has become politically charged in recent years. What is a woman? Walz pushed back immediately, telling the Congresswoman he wasn't there to be used as a political prop, and that he wouldn't engage with what he described as her political obsession. The tension in the room only increased from there. Mace pivoted to numbers, specifically autism funding in Minnesota.
How much money was spent on autism in Minnesota in 2017, Governor?
I don't have those numbers in front of me, Congresswoman.
Did you prepare for this hearing today? Did you do any preparation
I take
for this hearing
Congress
today?
seriously.
And you've seen the numbers about autism fraud in Minnesota. So we're going to do some Minnesota math with you today, okay? Are you ready? How much money was spent on 2017 for autism in Minnesota? How much?
I don't know. I wasn't the governor.
Okay. Did you not just say that you prepared for this hearing today? $1 million, okay? A quick Google search or using your AI could tell you $1 million was spent. How much money was spent on autism in Minnesota in 2024?
I don't have the number in front of me. As
Were you governor in 2024?
I was, but I'm not the head
so
of
your
HHS.
excuse before that you didn't know what 2017 autism numbers were because you were not governor, and today you can't answer the numbers about 2024 as governor, and you still said you prepared for this hearing today. It's unbelievable. $343 million was spent in 2024. What percent increase is that from 1 million to 343 million? What percentage increase is that?
I'm not here to be your prop. Go ahead and tell me.
Well, are you governor of Minnesota or not?
Yes, I am. I'm
Okay,
not.
well,
I'm
when
not
I'm
a prop
governor of
for a
South
member of
Carolina,
Congress.
you can sure as hell bet that I'm going to know the math. The math is 34,200% increase, an increase of 343 times what it was in this time period. Do you know the number of children in Minnesota?
She asked the governor how much the state spent on autism services back in 2017. Walz said he didn't have the number in front of him. Mace then revealed the figure herself, about $1 million. Next, she asked for the spending level in 2024. Again, Walz said he didn't have the number available. That's when Mace delivered the punchline of her argument. According to her numbers, autism-related spending in Minnesota jumped to $343 million in 2024. She calculated that as roughly a 200% increase over that period and argued that such a massive spike raises serious questions about oversight and fraud. From a conservative perspective, the point she was making was straightforward. When government spending explodes that dramatically, taxpayers deserve answers, and it didn't stop there. Mace then began questioning Walz about Minnesota's demographics, including the total population and the number of children in the state.
I know that Minnesota ranked as a top 3 state for children in the last year.
What is the total population in Minnesota?
5.7 million.
Okay. What is the total population of children in Minnesota?
I don't have the number in front of me right now.
Are you governor of Minnesota?
I know 400,000 were cut out of health care last
Okay,
week by
that's
the
not-
actions you made.
Are you governor of Minnesota?
I am.
And you don't know the number of children
I
residing
don't have
in
the
Minnesota?
specific number. It's 5.7 million.
That's your total
What is your age?
population.
What is the age? 0 to 5? 0 to 19?
You have approximately 1.2 million children in Minnesota.
What
I'm not
age?
even governor of South Carolina. Our population in South Carolina is 5.5 million. We have approximately 1.1 million children under the age of 18 in my home state of South Carolina, okay? As governor, I expect you to know this information. Thank God you're not Vice President of the United States. Do you know approximately how many children in Minnesota are autistic or on the spectrum?
No, I don't have that number.
Okay, well, if you take the CDC's roughly 1 in 36 kids are on the spectrum, we're talking about approximately 33,000 kids. In South Carolina, it's about 31,000 or so. What is, do you know what this is per child, spending-wise, in the fraud for autistic kids in Minnesota?
Again, I'm not here to be your prop. Go ahead and tell us.
Is doing Minnesota math a prop? This is math. We're talking about fraud.
Minnesota ranks at the top. Where does South Carolina rank?
We're talking about money.
Where do South Carolina children rank on healthiness?
These are my questions for you. It doesn't go the other way around unless we're debating on the debate stage. And we're not.
If you're asking questions about being governor, it does.
I'm asking you
When you're
questions
governor,
about
you can
being
come and
governor
tell
of
me.
Minnesota, which you can't answer. This is basic math. And you can't even answer.
not
Do you
here to
even
be your
care
prop.
about kids in Minnesota?
They rank near
Do
the
you
top
care?
in every category. My children are fed. My children are housed. My children have
getting
health
the
care.
services they need in
My
Minnesota.
children have the best
No,
schools.
you don't. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Walz acknowledged that he didn't have specific numbers on hand during the hearing. For critics, that moment reinforced the argument that government leaders should be prepared to answer basic questions about major spending programs in their states. Supporters of Walz, on the other hand, argue that governors cannot reasonably memorize every statistic and that the broader issue should focus on ongoing investigations and policy solutions. But politically speaking, hearings like this are about accountability and public perception, and moments where elected officials struggle to provide answers can quickly become viral clips that fuel larger debates about government competence and transparency. At the end of the exchange, the discussion widened to broader congressional matters.
Mr. Chairman.
Gentlelady yields back.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, Ms. Bobert? Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, Mr. Mace.
May I make my two motions?
Proceed.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chairman, I move that the committee issue a subpoena to the Honorable Pamela Jo Bondi to appear before the committee for a deposition regarding the department's handling of the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein and his associates and compliance with the Epstein Files Transparency Act.
A motion has been made. The committee will hold this motion in abeyance until the end of today's hearing. The committee will now proceed with today's hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the committee issue a subpoena to the Office of Congressional Workplace Rights for the awards and settlements paid pursuant to Section 415 of the Congressional Accountability Act prior to December 12, 2018, with only redactions allowable for the personally identifiable information of victims, alleged victims, and witnesses. Thank you, ma'am.
Mace introduced motions calling for subpoenas connected to investigations involving Pam Bondi and records tied to settlements under the Congressional Accountability Act, as well as transparency related to the case of Jeffrey Epstein. Both motions were held for consideration later in the hearing. Here's the bigger takeaway. Congressional hearings are one of the few places where elected officials are forced to answer questions directly in public. Sometimes those exchanges are calm and procedural. Other times, like this one, they turn into high-stakes political clashes. For many Americans watching, the core issue isn't the political theatrics. It's whether taxpayer money is being protected and whether leaders are prepared to answer tough questions about how that money is spent. Transparency and accountability should never be partisan issues. If billions of dollars are being spent, especially on programs meant to help vulnerable children, the public deserves clear answers. And hearings like this are where those answers are supposed to happen. Now I want to hear from you. Did Nancy Mace raise legitimate questions about oversight and spending, or do you think this exchange was more about political theater? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you want more breakdowns of major political hearings, congressional clashes, and the stories the mainstream media often misses, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the Capitol Current. And stay tuned, because the next political showdown is always just around the corner.